Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
Welcome back to Connect Forth's magazine show. I'm David Murray. Let's kick off today's show with Jay Gorman's retrospective on 2016.
Connect Forth feature.
Let's face it, 2016 has not been the best year, has it?
Disappointing.
Busy.
Unbelievable.
Lit.
Surprising.
Exactly. From Bowie to Brexit to Bake Off, this year has been a rollercoaster. There were more terrorist attacks in France, the migrant crisis increased, BHS closed, Bradgelina split up, and Apple removed the earphone jack.
Probably Trump's win. That was awful.
The death of liberal democracy.
If I'm absolutely honest and wearing my political colours on my sleeve, the fact that whatever government we have will never believe whatever we vote for as being what we want.
Probably being locked out of my flat for 3 days and being homeless for that time.
The world been run by a whole load of xenophobic racists.
I don't know, I'd probably say Brexit or Trump.
Probably all the hatred in the world that led to so much surprising and strange things.
This year has been plagued with celebrity deaths, leaving most of us thinking, oh my god, who's next? While trying to figure out the best way to bubble wrap David Attenborough and Mary Berry. We were all shocked when David Bowie died early this year, but who else were we to lose?
Was David Bowie this year? I don't know if that was, David Bowie this year than David Bowie.
Honestly, I was quite upset about the death of Glenn Frey from the Eagles, because I'd just gone into the Eagles and like 2 weeks later Glenn Frey, the guitarist, died. So
there's been so many, and I've just had a look on my phone, but I actually think Alan Rickman, he was the best English baddie an American film could ever have.
Alan Rickman, because I really like Die Hard and it came out of nowhere.
Glenn Rhee on The Walking Dead.
Snape, I know it's not Snape, but it's like the guy that played Snape, and it just felt like Snape died, and that's sad.
Surely it's not all been doom and gloom. The Olympics were great. Andy Murray is tennis number 1. Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Personally, I've done quite a lot of things that were good, graduated first year, but in terms of world politics, not a huge amount. A few countries did good things for equality laws and stuff, but they're lesser known than all the bad, scary things that happened this year. So,
I guess completing first year of uni, that's a pretty big step. I enjoyed that.
My highlight of this year has been seeing a number of students who I took on last year with incredible worries about how they could cope with UK graduating on stage last week.
Norman Reed is looking at my Instagram photo.
Probably my summer at home.
And so, as 2016 finally drags to a close, most of us, I imagine, were slightly relieved that it's finally over, but also slightly fearful, or maybe even hopeful, of what 2017 has to offer.
In my head, I'm it can't be as bad as it was this year, but at the same time, I'm I'm going to jinx it and it will be, and we're all going to die. So, somewhere in the middle, I guess.
I'm more hopeful about 2017, to be honest. I would have been worried if Hillary Clinton had been elected. I would have been worried if her plan for Syria had gone ahead.
Potentially, I'm more worried. The world is a crazy place, and it looks like we're going to be run by crazy people.
I'm always hopeful about everything, because if we're not positive and optimistic, then we all just fall into a hole and die.
Worried because it's not going to get any better.
Probably worried because of Trump and Brexit, if I'm not going to lie.
I mean, there's some scary stuff going on at the moment, but I'm quite an optimistic person, so I think all the stuff that's going wrong at the moment will inspire people to try to make it better.
Well, there you have it. It's not been the best year, but we made it. We lost some amazing and inspirational people along the way. Politics divided us, and natural disasters have struck. But we're still standing, and we'll keep standing. This year has been a learning experience for us, so come on 2017, bring it on. You're listening to Connect Forth Radio, and thanks for listening.
Connect Forth feature.
Oh dang, I dropped all my books again. If only there was some way to carry all my work around. You'll never do it looking like that. Wait, what? Who are you? Name's Jim. I'm the Gym Genie. Do you know, for just £15 a year you can join the FVC gyms in the Alloa, Falkirk and Stirling campuses. Wow, for just £15? Yeah, that's what I said. £15. The gym offers free fitness testing, personalised programs and the latest cardiovascular resistance machines to help you get in shape.
Thanks, Gym Genie. I'll never drop those books again.
Forth Valley College Gyms. Google FVC Gyms for more info.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
Next up on the show, Emma Auld introduces us to a really important issue, organ donation. So let's have a listen to her feature.
Connect Forth Special.
Hello, I'm Emma Auld and welcome to Connect Forth. Today we're going to be discussing organ donation. Even though it's a well-known subject, many people don't really know much about it. Organ donation is when someone donates their organs and tissues for someone who is in need of a transplant. This can ultimately save someone's life or give them a better quality of life. Today we're going to offer you some information you may need in order for you to make your decision about joining the register. We will also have an interview with Anne Auld, who has received a transplant back in 2009. The first successful transplant was in 1954. This was a living kidney transplant, and a man named Ronald Herrick was given a kidney by his identical brother. Ever since then, medicine has been progressing in many ways, with successful transplants happening every day around the world. The thought of a transplant can be daunting for many people, so we took to the streets of Stirling and found out what your biggest fears are about organ donation.
I think I'm a wee bit scared, and I think that because you were born with all these organs, I think you should have them till you die and when you die as well.
Can take anything they want from me apart from my eyes. That's the one stipulation I've said. They can't take my eyes, but yes, they can take anything else.
You can donate your kidneys, lungs, liver, pancreas, heart, small bowel, corneas and tissue. When registering, you can decide on what you want to donate and what you may not want to. You can also change your decision at any time on the NHS website. Once you register, your details are saved to the ODR, which is the Organ Donation Register. Currently, there are around 7,000 people in the UK waiting on a transplant, and on average 3 people die each day because there aren't enough donors. There are also no age limits to donating. Once you're pronounced dead, healthcare professionals will decide if your organs are suitable for a transplant. This is a morbid thought, and people may find this idea scary. However, with your own body, you can save up to 8 lives. Some countries are taking a different approach. They're changing their policy to the opt-out rather than opt-in. This means that you're automatically on the register and you need to remove yourself rather than registering. Wales was the first UK country to join the opt-out system in December 2015. Austria, Spain and Singapore have also an opt-out system. I spoke to Anne Auld earlier, who had a pancreas and kidney transplant back in 2009. We found out how much a transplant had changed her life. When did you know that you would need a transplant?
Approximately in 2007, when conventional therapy to treat my chronic kidney disease was starting to fail, it was decided that to put me on to dialysis, and the consequences of eventually going on to dialysis is that you know that your chances of recovery at best are with a kidney transplant.
How long did you wait for your transplant?
After joining the list, I waited 3 weeks and 1 day, which is extremely unusual for someone on an organ transplant waiting list. But my unusual blood type and the fact I was waiting for a pancreas and a kidney put me to quite high up the list, which is one of the reasons I waited such a short time. But that's not the case for a lot of people.
How has having a transplant affected you?
Well, it's changed my life. It's given me my life back. I'm free of machines. I'm able to contribute to society. I hold down a job. I have a fulfilling family life. The transplant hasn't come without its own complications, but those are nothing compared to what it was pre-transplant.
And what would you say to people who aren't sure about donating their organs?
You can't imagine the gift that you will give to someone else, and sometimes in tragic circumstances something positive can come out of that, and that people can go on to have second chances at life, to go on to have a family or to see their family grow up. So you never underestimate the precious gift donation gives to someone else. But look into it carefully, think about it, chat to your family, make them aware of what your decision is, and be brave and give that chance to somebody else.
Thank you, Anne, for sharing your insight. Even though 90% of you support organ donation, just 30% of the UK's population are on the NHS register. Now take a moment and think about how many lives you could improve. Think about the lives you could give just by registering. If you want to find out more about organ donation or want to register, you can at www.organdonation.nhs.uk. Thank you very much for listening.
Connect Forth Special.
Forth Valley Student Association offers advice on a range of social, welfare and academic issues and allows access to the student blog Fusion.
The Student Association also gives you representation for the student body, ensuring the student voice is heard throughout the college.
As a member of the association, you also have access to social events and lots of activities throughout the year.
To get in touch, contact 01324 40290 or email student.association@forthvalley.ac.uk.
And now moving on to something completely different, Fatma Hegazi talks to us about Stirling's music scene.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
Coming up on today's show, we will be looking into the Strange Behaviours Festival, hosted by Stirling's own Toll Booth. The festival has been running for 2 years, making its way back for the 3rd year. Stirling's music scene has grown to accommodate a diverse range of sound, ranging from rock to rap. On this show, we will look at the very festival that brings this whole mix together in the space of only 2 days. Taking place at the Toll Booth, the Strange Behaviours Festival brings in musicians from all around Scotland to help give Stirling its own sound of music. Here with me today are Kenny Bates and Gregor Flynn, some of the main people who organised this event.
My name's Kenny Bates, and I suppose I'm kind of duty managing the event at the Strange Behaviours Festival.
I am Gregor Flynn. I work here, and I'm also playing tonight. Tonight my 2 main roles is to rock as best as I can, and also make sure that everyone else playing in the attic tonight sounds like they rock.
So is this the first year of the festival, or has it been running on for a few years?
Yeah, this is the 3rd year of the festival. So, the first year was in 2014, and it's kind of built year on year to kind of it's ever changing. The way that the stages are set out and the kind of acts we have performing.
Why did you think Stirling would be a good location for the festival? Because I know that you were one of the people that helped organise as well.
Yeah, well, I think kind of main one is that the toll booth is here, and that's where we work. Thus we don't have much room for manoeuvre. But I think that Stirling does need a good fun indie kind of alternative gig once a year, like a big one.
I think it's another great contribution to it. I think it's a really great thing because it's bringing acts here that normally wouldn't come along otherwise to a venue that can kind of hold something of this size. There's not a lot of venues like this in Stirling, but the good thing is there are a lot of people who are in the same wavelength. So there's a lot of people that have started putting on their own events in other spaces, and there's a total wealth of talent as well. There's loads of artists from soloists right up to kind of bigger bands and stuff.
How do you think this this festival is going to be different from the previous years?
It's hard to remember what happened a year ago, but it is going to be lovely, I hope. There's so many lovely acts that I love tonight playing, so they're all going to be super. It's just going to be cracking. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse than last year, but it's going to be good. I promise you that.
The 2nd year was more just kind of based around the idea of kind of having quite eclectic music genres. So stuff that was quite well known and kind of well celebrated in the kind of Scottish new music and indie scene, alongside stuff that's quite obscure and diverse. We had people there that were doing kind of improvised soundtrack stuff to some improvised film that was happening. So that was incredible because it was all just happening there in front of you. We had a band called Civil Elegies who were loud as all hell, and they were up in the attic just ruining people's eardrums. And but then we had Admiral Fallow in the main auditorium, which was really popular. So Yeah, the idea was to bring people in on something that they were familiar with and then freak them out with something they weren't.
After this, I decided to get the performer's perspective on the event.
How would you sum up this event in just a few words?
An eclectic, strange menagerie of joy.
Fun stuff, Stirling. Yes, please. That's how I'd describe it.
Damn good vibes.
I think I would describe it as Kenny did well.
Weird, but very nice as well.
Thank you very much for listening. This has been Fatma Higazi giving you the Festival of a Lifetime.
Connect Forth Special.
Where can I find help with funding, dedicated in-house counsellors and advice and guidance for our learners?
The Student Services team has you covered. The team operates on all our campuses.
I need a quiet space where I can have access to college computers, Wi-Fi or just use my own.
Yeah, sure, we have breakout areas throughout the college.
Have you got any information on applying for university or UCAS?
Yes, we run a range of workshops during the year and provide face-to-face support with careers advice.
College is stressing me out. Who can I talk to?
We have counsellors who are here to help you with stress or if you just need some friendly advice. We're there for you.
Are you open to ideas about how to improve your service?
Yeah, sure, we have the suggestion boxes which are placed around the college. You can submit your ideas.
That sounds superb. Where can I find more information about the student services?
On moodle.forthvalley.ac.uk as well as the Fusion online blog.
Feel like changing your look? Come down to Forth Valley College Salon for everything from hairdressing to hair removal. Staff and students get 10% discount. Visit any of the following campuses: Alloa, Falkirk, or the Raploch. At really good prices, you can spend the day pampering yourself. Visit their Facebook page, FVC The Place, for more information. Go on, treat yourself.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
Enjoying some music isn't the only thing you can do in pubs in Stirling. Kim Doman went to Brewdog, where a sewing class is held.
Connect Forth Special.
Hey, can I get a pint of lager, please?
The comforting sounds of your favourite pub. Hi everyone, I'm Kim Doman for Connect Forth Radio, and in today's feature we'll have a closer look at a unique pub event that regularly takes place at the Brewdog in Stirling. I'm not talking about pub quiz night.
Andrew! James Bond star's called Andrew!
Karaoke.
Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me out?
Or speed dating. I'm going to take you with me on a fun night of drinks, laughter, and sewing. Yes, you heard right, sewing. Say It Ain't So is a free social sewing class held in pubs across Scotland. I sat down with Helena Prentice, the class leader in Stirling, to find out all about the event. Let's go. Hi Helena, it's really nice to meet you here at the Brewdog for the sewing event. So could you maybe give our listeners a brief overview over what Say It Ain't So is, how it started, and what you do?
Say It Ain't So is a free hand sewing class currently running in 5 cities across Scotland. The class is for all levels of ability, with beginners especially welcome. We believe the skill of sewing is universal. Everyone should be able to get involved in this fun, creative craft, no matter their age, gender, ability, or financial status. The classes were founded in 2010 by then costume and fashion designer Iona Barker, after she found out that sewing was being phased out of the curriculum in Scottish schools. The art of sewing has been part of our heritage for thousands of years and has so many benefits. Through sewing, you can gain confidence socially and creatively, strengthen your cognitive abilities, help to de-stress, and also make things for your friends and families for very little cost. Initially based in Glasgow, Say It Ain't So has now been running for 6 years, with recent years seeing the opening of classes in Edinburgh, Dundee, Aberdeen and Stirling.
What is the most fun part about delivering the classes?
My favourite part of delivering the classes is seeing what people create. Many people come here and believe they won't be able to learn to sew. but they are surprised and proud of what they have achieved by the end of the class. It is wonderful to see a whole multicoloured herd of seahorses, a rafter of turkeys, or a sight of caravans.
What do you personally love about sewing?
What I love about sewing is the range of different projects you can do. Anything from sewing on a new button to crafting an 8-foot giant squid like one member of the classes has done in her spare time. I enjoy relaxing with a piece and getting lost in the stitches for a while. It's very therapeutic.
Where do you get inspiration for the sewing project?
The inspirations for the sewing projects come from many places, usually the seasons, national holidays, and suggestions from class members. The web is a never-ending place to find inspiration, and we use a central Pinterest board and Dropbox system that all of the class leaders can access and add ideas to.
Where do you see Say It Ain't So in the future? Like, where do you want to take it?
Iona's mission is to teach the world to sew. She has spread the joy of sewing across Scotland and hopes that someday soon we will be international. The classes will always be free, there is no need to book, and all materials and equipment will be supplied. Just come along, relax, and create something wonderful.
Let me tell you, I had such a fun night, and I wasn't the only one. Say It Ain't So is well received, so I wanted to know from a few participants what they like most about it.
It's nice and social, and it's quite laid back, so there's not really a lot of pressure to get everything done in that kind of time stuff as well. But yeah, it just mainly gets you out of the house.
It's a good reason to get out in the evening and get away from my toddler.
I am quite excited because I used to sew quite a bit at school, so it's quite nice to get back into it and do different projects every week and try different things.
With such a great feedback, it is no surprise that also the Brewdog is happy about hosting Say It Ain't So. I met up with the pub's manager to find out how this unusual collaboration evolved. I wanted to know why the Brewdog decided to support Say It Ain't So and host the sewing events.
Well, I think originally Say It Ain't So, the group, approached Brewdog as a whole. It started off in Aberdeen, I think. We were really receptive to it because for us it's a bit like what we do. People who come here want to enjoy it together, you know. So for us it's screaming what we are as a company.
I also asked how they benefit as a business from these sewing events.
So for us as a business, it's fantastic having people here in Fillinbarra, especially during quieter nights during the week. So this allows us to spread our business over a whole week.
And last but not least, I wanted to find out what signature Brewdog drink he would recommend for a fun night of sewing.
So if you're going to come and do some sewing, the best thing to do is start with a session paleo, some light, easy drinking. You're not going to stab yourself with any needles that way.
If you are looking for a fun and social night out with your friends, you should definitely check out Say It Ain't So. You can enjoy a pint or two, meet other creative people, learn new skills, and most important of all, have a great time. This was Kim Doman for Connect Forth. Thanks for joining me.
Connect Forth Special.
Imagine starting dinner with a hearty tomato soup, then moving on to a succulent lamb tagine, and to finish, a warm sticky toffee pudding. This culinary dream can come true at Stirling's finest gallery restaurant. And do you know what's even more delicious? The price. You can get this exquisite 3-course meal for only £10. Open from Monday to Friday, located in Forth Valley College, Stirling campus. Stirling's gallery brings you the finest dining combined with the finest views, such as the Wallace Monument, River Forth and the Ochils. Book online at forthvalley.com or just simply call at 01786 406027.
More wine, madame?
And so our final show for today is from Lauren Howe, who did her feature on Olympic karate.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
The Olympics. Some of us can only dare to dream, even just to see it. One of the biggest sporting events in the world. Sports like athletics, swimming, tennis, taekwondo are played on a world scale. It's hard to think of a sport that's not in there. But up until recently, there has been. Up until the 28th of September 2015, sports such as baseball, softball, surfing, sport climbing and karate were not in the Olympics. Since Japan is hosting the 2020 Olympic Games, it's only fair that we let them play their national sports.
The International Olympic Committee
has the honor of announcing that the games of the 32nd Olympiad in 2020 are awarded to the city of Tokyo.
They seem pretty excited. Let's take a look at one sport in particular. Did you know that it's taken many decades to get karate in the Olympics? I mean, judo and taekwondo were in there, why wasn't karate? That might be a long list we don't want to look at just yet. We went to Satori Martial Arts, a karate club in Glasgow, to hear what they do for training and what the future looks like for their club due to the Olympic movement.
My name's David Campbell, and my role in Satori is to run the Satori Glasgow clubs, which I founded. But the whole club whole is founded by Arsene McAllister. He's got a full-time club in Dunoon. I'm probably one of the ones in Scotland and Britain who didn't want Olympic karate. My reasoning being was because what I learned as a child is completely changed now. I learned karate to look after yourself, not to compete in the beginning, but now as the movement's starting to get better, Olympic karate is the way forward for karate now.
Talking to David made us realise how much karate has grown in the last decade. He has seen so many changes in the sport from when he was little until he became an instructor. Since many of David's students are competing, we spoke to some of his students to hear where they have competed and what competitions they want to get into next.
Well, I would like to get into the European Karate Championships, the Worlds, and even to participate in the Olympics.
Like maybe Europeans, or like not Worlds yet, but just like Europeans, and maybe they go around the country and in the world, but not into the Worlds.
I want to compete more abroad to get the experience. I mean, I know I'm not going to make the Olympics now because I'm a bit old. I fought in the Dubai Open last year. I've competed in the British, the Scottish. I've won the British Unis. But I've competed in a number of Britishes and a number of Scottishes.
David also spoke about how he feels to see his students do these competitions and where they're heading to next.
Karate is in a whole, taekwondo, judo, and lots of things put together. At Satori we're not just karate based because you need to have other elements to martial art. The thing with Olympic karate and the way the World Karate Federation have set it up is there's only top 10 fighters, or so many fighters, so very unlikely for somebody this time to go from Scotland in 2020, but maybe the next time, 2024 or the next. But definitely I have one or two potential if they stay. I mean, we go all over the world now, from Dubai we were in last year, next week we're in Luxembourg for a tournament. We've got 2 or 3 kids at the moment that are actually very high potential, they're picking up medals at these tournaments.
So, in the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, we can now look forward to seeing new events and see the differences made to karate within the Games to the clubs at home. You're listening to Connect Forth Radio. Thank you for listening.
Connect Forth Special.
Thank you for listening to our show today. My name's David Murray and you've been listening to Connect Forth.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.